we believe that what we are building is bringing more transparency in the food for the world. And we really expect to cover 5% of the world food and make it more safer, transparent, and sustainable.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Really excited for this episode because this company may really be changing how we think through food supply chains, quality assurance of our products from the farmer to the retail stores. And the founder has a lot of conviction about where he's headed. So stay tuned for this episode. Meet Taranjeet Singh Bhamra, the CEO and founder of AgNext Technologies, a globally award-winning venture capital-backed company. It's solving for trust and transparency in global value chains using an AI-based solution for enabling quality-based assessments. Taranjeet is a graduate of IIT Kharagpur and IIM Calcutta. He's an accomplished professional and business leader, having worked for more than 20 years in strategy consulting, investment banking, and high-impact entrepreneurial roles in Indian and international markets. His ambitions are endless. It resonates through this episode. Really excited to listen to this again myself, and please enjoy. I'm really excited to be talking to you about AgNext and your own story, looking at global supply chain for food, quality assurance. Obviously, the world is progressing, technology is shifting, so many different industries, and I'm really excited to pick your brain on what you're doing with AgNext in the world today. So again, thank you for being here, Taran. And let's start. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your own journey leading up to the formation of AgNext. How did you get into sort of agriculture and the food supply chain?
Well, it's a long story short. The genesis is more than 25 years old when I was in engineering. Doing my, engineering, I always thought that what is it that I could do something to apply technology for the larger good. And, it was the most easiest way to move on to some PhD and then just join some, university and be a professor or be a honcho in the Wall Street or something like that. But for me, it was like, the real engineering, if applied on the ground, how I can build something for the larger, impact. And I don't know, this thought is quite seen to be, coming towards later part of life. It came to me a bit earlier. So I think for me, it was going on the ground. I worked in rural supply chains to understand what are the problems that have been faced in agriculture. And after that, that gave me a very, very good insight about, where the supply chains lack, where incentives for the farmers are not being built. And how does, very long supply chains in the food get disrupted owing to lack of technology?
Well, tell me a little bit about that, because I think that's fascinating. So share with me some of your perspective on sort of the inefficiencies of the supply chain, anything, with fairness, transparency, and quality assurance. So what are the big problems that we're facing in the world today?
See, anything that you buy in this world, right? You buy it on two axes: the axis of quantity and the axis of quality, right? So the intersection of quantity and quality is the price. So you pay a particular price for a particular quality and a particular quantity. Now, the trillions of dollars that you buy food in food value chain from the farmers or from the traders or from the warehouses, every time you buy, the entire quality inspection is subjective. Mm-hmm. Trillions of dollars. So that's where the TAM of the whole market lies, that, if you can digitize the quality inspection, that really transforms and gives more transparency. It gives more profitability to the buyer, because At the subjectivity point lies all the malpractices. It lies all the inefficiencies in the supply chain. So I worked in supply chains globally for multiple brands and built a lot of solutions around supply chain visibility. Uh, and then went on to consulting and data sciences. I worked in around 15 countries. So that gave me
Wow.
an idea that, that if I focus to, analyze quality or rather digitize quality without any human intervention, without any human subjectivity, it will be applied in every transaction in the food value chain. That was the thought. That then our technology becomes ephemeral in the sense that it will be there, everywhere where a transaction is happening. So that was the whole idea for us to, get into such a, I would say, building a technology. 2016, I came back to India. I was working in around 15 countries. Then lock, stock, barrel. I had a 2-year-old kid and my wife, and we said, let's go back and do something great. So it wasn't an easy journey because when I came back to India, somebody talking about technology and data, it was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? So it took me around 5 years to build technology, I would say, data in agriculture. We took around 3 million food samples in spices, in tea, in grains, oil seeds, and then set up a lab. And then I worked vehemently on building devices which can do computer vision and spectral sciences. So we are today one of the leaders in computer science, computer vision analysis, and spectral sciences, and that makes us, now prevalent application that needs to be provided wherever buying and selling is happening. So we are at the farm gate, we are at the warehouse, we are at the factories, now into exports. Now, various governments, blockchains wanting us to tie up with them so that, international supply chains can be more assured, more transparent, and the disruption that COVID has brought with, so much of supply chain inefficiencies being, exposed, that can be solved using our technology. And buyers can be more assured about, what you're buying. But the largest impact that we do is we are kind of creating a report card for a farmer, right?
Right.
Because it's like, you're the best in the class or you're the worst in the class, you'll get the same job. So that is what used to happen with the farmers because, there was no incentive for the farmer to create quality because
Right.
whatsoever lot you go, the buyer would say, oh, you know what? I'll give you this price because your quality is not good. Now, who defines that quality?
Right.
So digitizing that has given me that, at least that comfort that, what we are doing is a real once in a generation effort. Because building these 3 million food samples and then building this technology, it's a once in a generation effort by a company. And I think going forward, we are more than happy that, so many companies want us, so many governments want us. So I think we just need to be more stronger in our pace to build this. And I think there are so many immense opportunities for us to capture in any food value chain. So you call it a meat food value chain, grains food value chain, oil seeds. So I think that's where we are happy, and we believe that what we are building is bringing more transparency in the food for the world, and we really expect to cover 5% of the world food and make it more safer, transparent, and sustainable. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. How do you get sort of people to agree on a standard for quality of food? So you mentioned part of the problem is that subjectivity. How do you leverage obviously technology to give some sort of score, but how do you get all the stakeholders from the farmers to the buyers and distributors, manufacturers, retailers to agree on what is a standard rubric for a food?
So, well, the answer is very interesting here. What exists and what does not. I can divide the answer into two. So what exists is that wherever trade happens, the current systems already define we call it as, fair average quality, or at least some quality parameters on which we analyze the entire activity. That was done subjectively by people. So we have used computer vision to totally use it and kind of, replace it and show that these are against the already set parameters that are governed by that particular trade or that particular supply chain in that particular node of supply chain, which is basically a warehouse or a farm gate. Now, the second thing that never existed was if I were to do the proximate analysis, or if you call it how much is the protein there, how much is the fat percentage there, or how much is a active compound in a spice. All of that used to happen in the labs, and that's where most money is made actually by kind of not being sure about what's the quality, and they said, oh, this is bad quality. So if you could do it on the spot rapidly, that is where the real technology application of us comes in. So that's what we made using spectral sciences. And what was done in labs in 10 days, we can do that in 1 minute on the ground.
And so who's actually actively using the spectral analysis and the computer vision? Is it the farmers that are actively examining their products? How does this actually work in the field?
Yeah, so it's kind of a Robin Hood strategy for us right now. So we are giving it B2B. So we are primarily focusing on the businesses who want to ensure that what they're buying is of the right quality. So we never charge the farmer. We charge the businesses for using our application on a SaaS model. So wherever they are buying, they keep our technology, and every lot that they buy, they analyze through our technology. Yeah.
So they basically go to take samples from what they get, or they go to the farm, and then they are able to sort of understand what is the quality of produce that this farmer, and then do the farmers, how do they react all of a sudden to having them be able to identify very quickly the quality? Do they like it? Do they resist?
Yeah, so the good part is that the farmers have started liking it, because when companies start using it for evaluating and giving them pricing, and it's done by a machine, so for them that kind of gives them that next season I would come with a better quality. So the same thing happened in India in 40 years back with White Revolution, where India was very low in milk production, and there was a call to improve the overall milk production in India. It's called the White Revolution. And one of the ways it was improved was, the buyers got into the dairy companies. They got in something called a lactometer, which gave them, what's the fat and the solid non-fat percentage in milk. So on the spot. So and at 8%, you get a higher price. At 6%, you get a lower price. So farmers were happy to see that. They went back and they kind of, worked hard to bring a better quality. So I think this is what we are doing for literally every commodity in the world. So initially the reaction is, for a few places where they have been bringing low quality, the idea was, oh, we need to improve. So I think that's the good part for us, that the overall index of agriculture will improve with the technology. And that's what is sustainability.
I love it. So you're actually saying that a consequence of providing this series of incentives is that you're effectively increasing the overall index of the quality of the food, because you're providing market incentives that previously weren't in place for the farmers,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. So lots more economics and psychology coming into place along with technology here.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now you mentioned sort of 5% global supply chain goal. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Sort of what is sort of the vision for AgNext in the world, and sort of a strategy for getting there?
Well, that's a moonshot. So we said that, that every lot, every food supply chain that is inspected by us is fairer, is sustainable.
Sounds like it.
Is incentivized laden. So we just said that, how much of the food we'll be able to cover. So before our IPO. So I said, I was sitting in the team, I said, 5% won't be bad. So I think let's go for, covering. And that's a huge, that itself is, $500 billion maybe.
Incredible. But so if you're looking at the world as a whole, I mean, obviously this is something that's relevant for the entire world, right? Not just for specific areas. I mean, what are sort of some high-level strategies that go into place here as you're thinking about scaling this product once you've reached product market fit and you see that this is working, across a specific supply chain? How do you scale this thing massively?
Yeah. So the good part is that we have very steadfastly focused on only few commodities. We do understand that once we make it in one geography, we can take it to geography N, right? It's just purely by, how we can just kind of calibrate at the geography and then kind of, utilize this technology, because this is a universal need of this technology. So if I have done wheat in India, I can take wheat in Australia. Or I can take, rice in India. I can take rice in Vietnam. So that was the idea, that we focus on few commodities and then take it to various geographies where they are number 2 or number 3. So one of them is focused commodities expanding into, focused geographies. So this is one strategy that we are envisaging to grow together.
And is there a common standard for quality of wheat across different geographies? Is there sort of a common baseline or standard that you can adhere to?
Yes. So the computer vision analysis for wheat globally is around the same parameters.
Interesting.
So there are around 10 to 11 parameters that are analyzed using physical quality of wheat. They are almost the same, with some changes, tweaks here and there, which we can kind of, calibrate. For the chemical analysis, for example, the gluten and the protein, it's common across the world for wheat to be analyzed on that. So I think that's how we have kind of, built our algorithms that, if we can analyze wheat in one geography, can we take it to the next? And I think that the second is tying up with local partners who can take this technology and go to all food inspections that are happening. And that's a very good strategy for scaling. It's a very good inorganic growth as well for us, because literally every country has food inspections. So if you digitize that, there's a massive, massive opportunity to build a very, very solid global technology with an IPO story.
Interesting. So Taran, take me back a little bit to your own personal journey. You've mentioned that you've sort of honed in on this idea of global impact at scale earlier than traditional it happens, and it definitely sounds like it. What is sort of this vision for you? What does this company mean for your own personal story in life?
I think we all come to live only a few years, and whatever we study, whatever we do, I think if you do what you are passionate about, you don't feel tired. And, everything that you have manifested or thought about kind of keeps getting real. So that's where the real journey for any individual, for me is exciting, because I don't follow templates of, particular X and then Y and then Z. I chose 25 years back that, I would want to create technology for the world. And it took me 25 years. That's not a small amount of time, almost 1/3 of my life. but that helped me to, keep working at it and kind of, building on it. So for me, AgNext is everything that we can do for, the next generation. And that next generation are also my kids. So I want to ensure that safe food, more safer food, more sustainable world exist as I leave my kids to Earth. So I think that's what keeps me very happy, that what I'm doing is something for the greater good. I have just enjoyed this journey. So for me, it's just about doing it. And I think I prepared myself over a long period of time to keep working and delivering this. So I think that's what is very, very exciting.
And it sounds like you're the reality that you're living in is sort of already the possibility of AgNext being a world leader in in sort of spectral analysis, computer vision when it comes to the global supply chain. I mean, your shirt literally says AgNext, we're unstoppable. What is this sort of, how does this sort of this relentlessness, unstoppableness, why is this such a big factor in the way that you perceive your journey here?
I think we are unstoppable because we have now found, the mantra, the algorithm to analyze food and solve the 50% of a transaction, and giving incentives to farmer and giving profitability to the buyer. So I think that's what, and I think that was the Da Vinci Code of commodity buying. That if we can analyze quality, that makes commodity buying more sexier, if I would say the word. So I think that's why we believe that it is up to us to now utilize this tech, deploy it multiple geographies, multiple commodity value chains, and more importantly, tie up. I always say we don't have any competitor, because what we are trying to do here is, we have created a niche, and now literally, whether it's a commodity exchange or whether it is corporates or whether it is, exporters, all of them want our technology. So for us, it's about dissipating and finding a channel to, dissipate our technology at every transaction. So that's why, we kind of agreed. This is that song, We Are Unstoppable, which my son kind of introduced me to. So he said,
Awesome.
Papa, why don't you hear this song? So I said, wow, I was listening when I was going on a drive with him, and I did a town hall and I showed this song, and literally everyone was, yes, we are unstoppable. So I think, yeah. So I play a guitar. So I think I'll play this I will play with my, team to this song. And that really justifies what we are doing. We need to be unstoppable to solve the world.
So inspiring. Thank you so much for this time and for the great work that you're doing. I'm so excited to continue following AgNext as a fan from the side. Thank you for all the great work and the inspiration, and best of luck with AgNext. And thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Michael. Such a pleasure to be here.
It was awesome.